Welcome back to another edition of the Four Insight Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Obi. Joining me today is another familiar face, my older brother, Bernard. Bernard, how you doing?
Doing well. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just preparing for this Thanksgiving food. And
True.
so, how you been? How's El Paso? I know it's spiking out there.
Paso's good. I mean, I'm doing my best to kind of limit how much I'm in public, but in the end, I can't worry too much about it because then that's when you definitely get into having things that come up. So I don't know. I'm just taking it day by day.
Yeah, that's all we can do. I mean, I know I work with COVID, so just seeing the spike and the outbreaks, I mean, it's just, you just got to be careful out here. That's all it is. But we got a special episode for you guys today, and then into another realm, dating. My brother and I talk about this at full length, and our upbringings have given us an interesting perspective. So we're just gonna go into that for you guys today. Where we're gonna start, Bernard, we have to address a very, very tired and unfound myth, which is what we call the dating channel fairy tale, and we need to debunk this. So go into it. We talk about it all the time. What is the Disney Channel fairy tale that we talk about?
So basically hold on, I'm posting to Instagram, my bad. Just telling the people that we're recording this episode and it's about to be a banger. But basically the Disney Channel fairy tale of dating is I don't even want to say it's the idealistic way of looking at and thinking about dating. I think it's more of like what we've kind of been told and taught and conditioned through TV, media, what have you. That includes our parents as well. Just basically our society is basically saying that what we think is, we think of things like dating and ultimately marriage is the best thing for people, and there's a certain way that the genders interact, but it's not the reality and it's not the truth.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into all that, but basically, the Disney fairy tale way of dating, basically it's, okay, you go through high school, and then either you date your high school sweetheart and then you all get married and y'all live happy ever after with minimal hitches, you know what I'm saying? Or you go to college and you meet your college sweetheart and y'all go through life and then y'all get married and have kids and white picket fence, and then that's it. You got right off into the sunset. Whereas the reality is, especially today, most people, they don't know how to interact anymore. The reason I think that is because social media has disconnected us more than anything, even though it's quote unquote, and it has connected us more and a lot more easier. But now we don't have, but connecting to me is in person. You know what I'm saying? It's not just liking pictures and DMs and things like that. It's face to face, in person. Like, I want to feel the heat of a person. That's what connecting is. And we've gotten away from that. And now and then also we have other things that have influenced our society too, such as, feminism, just progressive ideals, which is not a bad thing, but it's just now skewed the roles and relationships between men and women. And that's and it's kind of got away from what the reality is. And it's kind of shifted to this narrative of the Disney Channel fairy tale, right? And what happens in the Disney movies, right? This guy who's not really that great of an option, all of a sudden gets the princess, and the princess automatically falls in love with him, and that's the world that most people are living in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and I'm gonna go in on this a little bit. You have guys out here who are, oh yeah, I'm going there today. You have guys out here, going after women that they have no business going after, right? Then you have women who are going after guys who they have no interest in outside of what they can do for them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I really boils down to. You know what I'm saying? So this notion that, I can be an average guy, make average money, and just want to live an average lifestyle, like very unassuming, like, work my 9 to 5 job and go home every day, Monday through Friday, and then work off weekends, go on vacation maybe once, twice a year, and that's it. I'm now thinking I am entitled to a woman who's extremely attractive. You know what I'm saying? Reality is, women like that don't go for average guys. They just don't. They go for above average to the top 1% of men, especially the better looking the woman is. You know what I'm saying? And then women, at the same time too, they're either expecting too much from a man, in terms of what they think they should get, and they're not seeing that I'm an average woman. I'm an average looking woman. Okay, I have no business dealing with and dating a super attractive, handsome guy. That's just reality. You know what I'm saying? It's uncomfortable to hear for most people, but for me, my life experiences have taught me that that's truth. So we'll get into all that too. But yeah, like, this one's not going to be for people who live idealistically and think that, relationships are rainbows and sunshine and marriage is like the ultimate. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're going to get into it.
For sure. But I think you started it off, basically no punches pulled, and that's how it's got to be, man. This is sober talk. It's going to be some realness, displayed, but it is what it is. So my whole idea of the Disney Channel fairy tale, it goes into, it's not just Disney Channel, but we watch it the most. And that's really, the whole Prince Charming, the guy who's a no name. And, all of a sudden he gets the pretty lady's attention. He sweeps Cinderella off her feet. In reality, you try to do that, it's just not the way it works, and it's not just in Disney Channel. It's really with everything that we were taught. We root for the Steve Urkel, not the Stefan Urkels. We root for Ethan Kraft off of Lizzie McGuire, not the David Gordon, the Chase Matthews off of Zoe 101, not all the other options that they had. And I think, for people who really never have any experience in dating, they take on that ideal, they take on that philosophy, and then they wonder why they can never keep an option. And I think that's the problem, is that we now have to kind of unprogram and unchannel people's minds from that way thinking. Because first off, those are the same guys where they say, man, I do all these things that I saw on TV. I do all the things that TV taught me. I do all the things that I saw in my childhood, and and then they're wondering why they can never keep an option, why they can never either sustain a relationship, or why the women that they're trying to get don't want them. There's a flaw in the way that they're thinking and in their approach. And most guys don't figure it out until it's too late. Right. And then on top of that is, like you alluded to, is people's upbringings. I'll speak on, for me, I've talked about this on previous episodes. Our parents being Nigerian, and them being the first generation to come to America and to kind of figure American way of life out. Because of that, they didn't know what was going on. So when it came to them raising children and them raising a family, they wanted it to be very, very, very comfortable, right? Don't put yourself out there. If we're not familiar with it, we don't want you embarking in it. So that went with even American women. American women of all races and ethnicities, but just if you weren't Nigerian, if you didn't come from the same culture, they were like, no, we're not having it. I remember, our mom, I'll never forget. I don't know whether you went through this, but like up until I really turned 18, like if I even remotely brought up the idea of like, I have a girlfriend, she'd be like, we don't say that word. You're not allowed to say that. You can be friends, but you're not allowed to have a girlfriend. And so then that programming of, people thinking that it's weird to be in relationships, naturally you look and you're just like, well, you go to parties, and then as you become an adult, you're not used to interacting with the opposite sex. You're not used to having interactions. And then it's like, oh, wait, when are you getting married? I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about career. I'm thinking about, other things, right? And naturally, those people, they never really find their partner if that's what they're looking for. If they're looking for marriage, they don't know how to date, and then they struggle, and they're not really understanding what's going on. And I think that's what needs to be addressed.
Yep. Yep. And one of the things too. I mean, the Disney Channel movies and shows and things like that. I mean, yeah, like you said, we root for what, the underdog, right? Me personally, I don't root for the underdog. I root for the winner. That's just me. That's just how I'm wired, right? But in any case, right, we root for those guys that you mentioned. We root for Steve Urkel to get the girl versus Stefan. You know what I'm saying? And the reason is because that's how most men are, right? And that's how I think majority of men see themselves, and that's why. But the reality is, those guys aren't wanted or appreciated until a woman gets to a certain place in life where she realizes, okay, damn, now I need to settle down. Now I need to find someone who's going to provide for me, or who I can start building a life with, so we can start to have kids, things like that. And one of the things that women don't realize and understand is you have a clock in which you have to find that guy, because once you get to a certain age, your chances of finding a viable partner, at least to you, drops precipitously. You know what I'm saying? I'm so cold there. So once a woman turns 30, right?
Yes.
Her options go down precipitously, because now the guys are in her age range usually want to date younger women. So they're not going for the 30 or the woman that their age, if they're in their 30s. He's going for the 25, 23, 24, 22-year-olds now. That's just reality. Whenever she turns 35, it goes down even less. You know what I'm saying? Because again, those guys around her age want younger women. And the thing that women do, at least modern women, in my opinion, in my observation, I'm not saying this is 100% across the board. So, because I know anytime you say things like this, women assume that you're talking about every single woman, but if you get offended, that's saying something about yourself. But that's neither here nor there. The point is though, most modern women, what they do is they think because they went to college and got degrees and they're successful, things like that, that's what they think is going to attract a man. But it's not, because men, we don't care about those things. We couldn't care less how many degrees you have, what job you have, how much money you make, because at the end of the day, I'm my own man and I make my own money and I don't need none of yours. And I'm not going to have access to your money. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to break me off whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect you to provide for me. I provide for myself. And then if I'm trying to partner with you, I'm supposed to provide for you. That's how that works. But we'll get into all that. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting my head of myself. Let's
The only premise that I'll add on, and if it's a rebuttal, it's a rebuttal. But the only thing I say when I approach dating and everything is just look, whether you're a male or female, you can do whatever you want. Just don't complain about the results, or don't complain about the consequences of your actions. If you're a guy and you decide you don't want to improve yourself, if you decide I don't want to put in the work to make myself the best bachelor possible, then don't get mad whenever women who you're really attracted to don't want you. And then vice versa. If you're a woman who thinks, I can do whatever I want, I can be however I want, and then I expect every guy to want me, just the way I am. Well, that's just not the reality that we live in. I'm very, very reality based in dating. You can do what you want, and you can like or dislike who I am as a person, but in the end, everybody has something everybody has somebody who they are attracted to. Everybody has someone who is attracted to them. You have to find the right partner. If you don't like your options, you either level up, or you're going to end up being single for the rest of your life and, complaining about why you don't have an ideal partner. So that's my whole premise on the whole thing. So let's go into just the whole, what I was just talking about. It seems that men, and what you kind of were talking about, just they don't like the current rules that, the game is having to be played with, and even the word game, when I say that, I mean just in terms of male and women interactions, being able to present yourself as the best possible bachelor and putting in the work to do so. It seems like many men don't want to do that. So why do you think that is? And what do you think needs to happen?
Well, I mean, we got to think about this generation of men, right? How they grew up.
Yeah.
This generation of men grew up being told they're great, even though they didn't do anything to deserve being called great, right? So the entitlement that men have adapted, men and women have adapted from the time that they're in the childhood stage, then early adolescence to adolescence and on up till now. Right? They're told, "Oh, you're great just the way you are. You're special," without having to be special. So now these men are out here thinking, "Okay, I'm just good as is. A woman should want me." You know what I'm saying? Reality is, the woman wants the best. Women, when they look for a man, and I'm gonna keep this kind of general because I can go really, really deep into this, but just for the sake of time, and also just because this is something that to go deeper into it, I prefer to do it with people who are actually like receptive to this message. But most women though have identified what they need. See, I believe women are more realistic and more pragmatic when it comes to dating and relationship, in terms of whenever they decide that they want to find a partner and settle down, they know exactly what they look for and they go after that.
Absolutely.
But in terms of the men though, they don't want to have to do the work to improve, to make themselves the most viable option, right? They just think that, okay, as long as I work every day and give her money and things like that, and just keep it and just do like the basic man stuff, I should have a woman, which I mean, that sounds good and sounds easy enough, but the reality is though, women are more selective than men are, and I think that men, because they grew up with participation trophies, right? So they didn't have to compete necessarily. Right? They didn't have to compete to get the things that they wanted in life. And when their first interactions when it came to competing was, okay, no matter what, as long as you try your best, you win. We didn't grow up like that. You know what I'm saying? We grew up hearing that you have to be the best at what you do. And if not, then it's not good enough. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, at least we are wired. And a lot of people that I'm cool with and friends with, that's how they're wired too. You know what I'm saying? But I think men in general, they're having a hard time, and it's not all them too. Women have become much more difficult to deal with recently than probably any point in history. You know what I'm saying? I've heard different stats being thrown around that women are more single today than they were in previous generations, this generation of women. And I could be wrong, but from what I'm seeing and on day-to-day basis in real life, in reality, that's what I'm seeing. I see more women complaining about how these dudes are F-boys and this and that and the third. And I'm like, well, sis, like you're like way out of your league right now. You're dealing with dudes who are way out of your league, right? That's part of being realistic. Myself, there's certain women I look at, I'm like, dang, I would like to have her. But then I realize it's probably not the best fit for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm real with myself. And I think if more men were to do that, then they and figure out what they want. See, most men, they just, their whole life and their whole rationale and thinking with all the moves they make is, okay, what can I do to get the best woman possible? Right. Okay. So let me go and become a doctor or lawyer or banker or something like that, because they make a ton of money and money equals women. Right. But they're miserable. And then they end up doing this job that they hate. And then they have to turn to, alcohol or drugs to cope. You know what I'm saying? Then what happens too, they get this woman that's way out of their league. You know what I'm saying? Way out of their league that they know they have no business dealing with. And then what happens? He knows in his mind, like, okay, she doesn't really want me for me. She wants what I can provide for her. Right. This is how I believe how some, not all, but some abusive relationships start, because I feel that abusive men are men who are angry, not necessarily with the woman that they're with, but with themselves, because they know that they have a deficiency that normally wouldn't allow him to be with the type of woman that he's with. You know what I'm saying? So I think in the end, to not get too long-winded, men just need to understand women, right? And understand that there's a lot more to them than just like, okay, you need to be able to provide and you need to be able to, you know, be a man, right? The be a man part it goes very, very deep. And women, they don't think like we do. And men don't think like y'all do. And I think that's what needs to happen too. But yeah, I think that men just need to understand the rules and just embrace the masculine burden of performance, which means you can't be a stay-at-home dad. Like you just can't. Like you can. I mean, I'm not saying that if they're not out there, but I'm just saying women have this innate thing in them that says like, it's okay if my husband or man stays at home and takes care of the kids, but would I prefer it be the other way around? Absolutely. So.
Well, the only thing I'll push back on, and from my perspective, like for me, the only reason why I ever got into really wanting to understand dating and relationships and things of that nature was because, I remember the example vividly. I was hanging with two of my friends who were much older than I am, and so I kind of see them as mentors and other older brothers outside of yourself. And I remember we were chilling one day, and basically this woman comes and walks by us, and then like I don't notice anything. I'm just being me. And so then like they look at me and they're just like, bro, how did you miss that? Blah, blah, blah. Why didn't you speak to her? Why didn't you pursue her? Why didn't you talk to her? Things of that nature. And I was just kind of blowing it off like, well, I didn't notice anything. They were like, no, you need to like pick your shit up. Like, what are you doing? And so then I was trying to reflect, and I'm like, well, me who really has not had too much, experience dating at that time, maybe there is something that I'm missing. And if that's the case, I want to fix the problem. I'm not going to be hard-headed and say, oh, I'm going to go about life and not really pay attention to nothing. So then with that being said, I just went into different things and different experiences I had. I was like, okay, what worked and what didn't work? Okay, why did that work? Why did that not work? And then I got into just reading different books that maybe people will put me on. Like one really good book that I think explains my approach to dating in a nutshell was this book my friend put me on called The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida, right? And his core principle when it comes to everything dating and relationships is about polarity, right? There's a masculine and a feminine pole, right? That is present in really any interaction, man to man, man to woman, woman to woman. There has to be that balance and that kind of opposites attracting, so to speak, from the standpoint there has to be somebody who's the masculine presence in the relationship. There has to be somebody who's the feminine presence in the relationship. Now, generally, and what has been expected throughout most of mankind is that the woman is generally going to be the feminine pole, the feminine portion of the relationship. I think now what you were alluding to with women getting into jobs, getting into careers and being more career based, they're on their grind harder than ever. And they're the ones saying, well, I'm just so focused on my career. I don't care about dating when I'm young, right? And then they don't get into wanting to settle down with a partner until, you hit your biological clock, as you talked about, right? And then meanwhile, guys, on the other hand, guys are like, well, why are women this way? Why don't I get the woman that I want? Why is it that when I, over pursue and chase this woman, she's not giving me the time of day, she's flaking on me, things of that nature. So really, truly, they're acting very feminine from the standpoint they're complaining rather than taking action and doing something about it. Our parents never allowed us to make excuses. Everything was about adjusting and about evolving, right? So for me, like I look at a lot of people and I'm just like I don't tolerate people who don't reciprocate the energy that I put out. If I'm trying to talk to somebody, if I'm trying to talk to a woman and, she's not giving me the same thing I'm putting out, then I just decided, okay, she's not attracted to me and I move on. There are billions of women in the world. But I think for so many guys, they've been taught, oh, chase her, keep pursuing, and eventually you'll get her. Meanwhile, you're wasting all that time when you could have found a partner that maybe was right in front of your face that really was attracted to you and down for you. You could have made a life with her, right? But instead, you're so focused on, no, I need to have that particular one, and I'm going to do everything in my power. And she just gives you the runaround, and the next thing you know, you're sitting there and you're bitter and you're angry because she isn't, attracted to her. She's not, dating you. She's, just treating you like a fan, so to speak, right?
Oh yeah. Oh. Are you done? Okay, go. Finish. And I'm about to. Oh, okay. I'm about to.
And so that's really the whole thing is that, you have to understand, like, you talk about you can't be a stay-at-home dad. Like I said, you can do whatever you want. Just understand the consequence that comes with that. If you're going to be a person who says, I don't want to put in no work, I want to be a stay-at-home dad, and or I just want to complain about how women or men are, and instead of doing something about it, okay, then don't get angry when people decide, that's a turn off. I don't want to deal with you. If you're a woman who decides that, I want to be just focused on my career, I don't want to deal with, men right now, or I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to, have relations with whomever I want. And then, fast forward when my biological clock is ticking and I want to settle down with a bachelor. Well, all the guys who are really good options and are good catches, they don't want me no more. Right. And so then I'm sitting there, I'm bitter because I'm like, well, why don't they want me? I did everything that I thought that they would want. Psych is more so what you thought, that it's more so what you wanted. And now you're trying to bestow your wants, your desires on them. And that's not what they're looking for.
Oh yeah. I mean, so look, right? When I said men want, listen, I'm with you. People can do whatever they want to do. Man wants to stay at home and be a stay-at-home dad. Got no problem with that. Woman wants to be the breadwinner. Got no problem with that, right? The problem is that people are having is they're not understanding their decisions have consequences, right? Mm-hmm. Understand that if you are a stay-at-home dad, yeah, your woman may be okay with you staying at home, and she may embrace that and what have you. But innately, though, and if she's honest with herself, and especially she's looking at her female friends who all have husbands who are all either out working and they're the breadwinners and they're staying at home. You better believe that she's looking at like, damn, I wish that was me. Women are extremely competitive when it comes to these type of like social dynamics and interactions. That's what I'm starting to realize and observing. Women are very, very, very competitive, and they never want to feel like they have less than their female counterparts. Men, we're competitive too, but from a different angle. We're competitive when it comes to like career and making sure like we're making the money that we're making. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Now, the men who think that they are good as is, right? Mm-hmm. This is the problem that I have with them is that you're the type of woman that you're. I'm good with any. Okay, let me back up. I'm good with men saying that they want a chick who's an 8 or 9. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm totally good with that. You know what I'm saying? Most men would say, yeah, I want a chick who's a bad chick. I want an 8 or 9. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cool. First off, do you even have what it takes to even get a woman of that caliber's attention? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. You're I'll be nice. You're a 6. You know what I'm saying? You half-ass work out 3-4 times a week. Not really though. You kind of just do enough this so that way you don't get fat. You go and drink every weekend. You know what I'm saying? You're slightly above average looking, make okay money. You know what I'm saying? And you want to get an 8 or 9. 8 or 9 is not looking at you, bruh. Like that's just the reality. Like 8 or 9 doesn't even know you exist. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Instead, stay in your lane, you know what I'm saying, and get with a chick who's a 6, and then polish some things up. Mm-hmm. Take the gym serious. Don't go 3 or 4 times a week. Go 4 times a week and get on a good program. Diet, fix your body, build your body up. Now, who used to be a 6 turns into a 7. Now you can get those 6 or 7s, and then you can maybe get the attention of an 8 here and there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But men don't want to hear that though, because they think, again, I'm good enough as is. You know what I'm saying? In the same breath, though, to be fair, mm-hmm. The women, to me, they are at a point in life where they have all the validation that they could ever want.
Facts.
And not for men necessarily in the way of like actual men that they're dealing with or dating, right? Mm-hmm. From this bullshit.
Facts.
From this bullshit. That's where women get their validation from. So now men have become disposable and expendable to women. Like let's just keep it a buck. Because I'm seeing, especially here in this city of El Paso, right? El Paso, the demographic roughly is like for every woman, for every man, there's like 2 women, I think, or something like that, almost like that. I'm not exactly sure. No. But basically, there's more women than men out here, right?
Yes.
I'm seeing chicks who are past 25 out here you know what I'm saying, who are fairly good looking and they're still single. And anytime I see a woman who's good looking, around 29, 30 and up, and she's like good looking, not like okay looking or average or slightly above average. I'm talking about like a good looking woman. She's 30 and above and single.
Yes.
There's a problem. My antennas raised. I'm like, okay, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? And it's because now these women are being told, girl, you're good as is. You don't have to do the feminism stuff, right? And listen, I'm not against feminism. I'm just against what feminism has done to women and like our family structure, because I'm seeing so many people complain about there aren't any good men out here or there aren't any good women out here. And feminism alone isn't to blame, but it has a big part of why the dating market is how it is right now. Now men are now, and then you have some men who said, you know what, okay, I'm going to try to put the work in and I'm going to try to better myself. And they do that and they're still not finding viable options. So now they're saying, I'm out. Like, I'm not going to date anymore. Yeah. I'm not going to get married. I don't want it. I'm good on it. You know what I'm saying? And women are starting to now see that too. And they're saying, well, what the hell? Mm-hmm. The reason is because there's in my opinion, two reasons. One, there's disconnect between the sexes in terms of people aren't communicating, right? Men want to feel the way they want to feel about women. Women want to feel the way they want to feel about men. Yes. Instead of talking, right? Again, this bullshit is what keeps us apart. I mean, and it's true. Yeah. Because it's crazy to me how many people will post memes about how like they get all like flustered and weirded out whenever someone calls them. Like me, I'm the type of person who I don't want to sit there and text you all day. I'm gonna call you if I need to talk to you or if I'm trying to make plans, right? But me now knowing like who most people are, everyone wants to text, which is fine. I've adapted. But me, I'm like, no, I want to talk to you on the phone so that way I can hear your voice and make sure and then see if you're, you know what I'm saying? But that's just me. But that's the first reason. We are not communicating too. Second reason is social media, which it was meant to connect us, has disconnected us more because now no one wants to deal with each other in person. Everyone wants to kind of just sit behind their phone screens or computer screens or iPad screens and communicate that way. Yeah. So in the end, I'm not surprised anymore why like relationships are and dating is as weird and messed up as it is now, because in the end, like, we're just not doing the things that our parents did, their parents did, and so forth to really make sure that we can have successful, sustainable, meaningful relationships. And, it's just, yeah.
For me, the only thing I'll say, because I was a guy who, had to approach dating differently, was it's just as important for you to build your mind up than your body and your finances because your finances, your body will only get you the look, but are you going to be able to sustain that interaction? Are you going to be able to keep that interaction? Are you going to be able to have it last you for a while? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
But when I talk about the looks though, that's just to even get you in the door on the first date is the looks, right? Yeah. We shouldn't even talk because see, men aren't even getting the looks from the woman that they're talking about they want. That's what, you know what I'm saying? Facts. And if you're not even if you're not even getting the looks from women, then what good is getting your finances in order, building your mind up, if you can't even get into the door and attract the women? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's where it starts. You know what I'm saying? Contrary to what people will say about women and talking about, oh, women are all about emotions and they're not as visual as men. They're not as visual as men, but they're visual as hell. You know what I'm saying? And not that I'm bragging or anything, but I can't tell you how many times I walk around, whether I'm at the mall, the gym, store, whatever, and I see a chick with her husband or boyfriend, even at work, and she's giving me a look like, that's a nice looking man right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what, you know what I'm saying? That plays a part for women too. And men men have been told women are all about emotions. You got to appeal to our emotions. So now they're thinking, oh, I can, and bullshit like dad bods is becoming a thing. And now that's trying to be pushed to being attractive. I'm like, I've never, ever seen a woman say, ooh, he has a dad bod. He's so sexy. Bullshit. Don't.
Uh, Here's my thing though. Here's my thing though. The only reason why I say build your mind up is because again, even if you're a person, most of the time what we're seeing is they don't want to do both. They don't want to put in work on both ends. They want to put in work on one and then think that that'll be able to circumvent the other. So okay, a dude who's in shape, he spends all his time in the gym or on supplements and on everything. And I was kind of this. I fell victim to this too. I had a really great, physique at one time, and then it was like I didn't have the mental. That goes into the whole not knowing whenever a woman is giving you the signal or giving you the sign that you can go and approach her, right? Or most of the dudes, they don't have the self confidence to themselves. That goes into the whole abusive relationship aspect that you alluded to. That they don't know how to just have a conversation and go up and say hello, go up and introduce themselves. That's all it is. You have to, okay, we could say a woman can give you the looks because you look physically pleasing to her all you want. But if you don't have the gall or the balls to then decide, okay, she's attractive, I'm going to go and at least try to shoot my shot, essentially. You know what I'm saying? That's the part about building yourself mentally. Are you going to be able to get past your insecurities? Are you going to get past the fact that, okay, yeah, maybe I was overweight. Maybe I used to get bullied at one point in life, but you know what? That's in the past. Those people who used to get on me, they're irrelevant because I don't even interact with them no more. And that's just part of my past. I fixed myself up. I'm a better catch. I'm a better bachelor now. Let me go ahead and navigate my life and focus on my future and not hold on to my past. I think that's the big thing, is that people hold on to the past, because of so many things and, negative experiences we hold on to. You have to be able to forgive them and move on. And I think that's the part about building your mental that I'm talking about. And it goes for women too. If you come from an abusive family, which I've, had friends who've dealt with that, are you going to be able to forgive it? Or are you going to say, no, all men ain't shit, because I had one bad experience or I had one bad boyfriend who abused me or cheated on me? Is that stuff is terrible and, has no place for it. It shouldn't be tolerated. But you have to be able to say that not every person is like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the part about the mental side that I really focus on. And also just like the dependence on needing a woman or on needing a partner. You know what I'm saying? Like especially with us being in quarantine, all this time, there's so many people out there who have gone mad because it's like, oh man, I can't go date. I can't go out and, sleep with a woman. I can't go out and, be on a date. It's like, bruh, use this time to find a hobby or find different things that you can now reinvest your energy into. Because I get it, we're dudes, right? And we want to mate, we want to, do all those things and have fun. But in the end, that shouldn't consume you to the point where you can't do nothing else. That's the part, that I look at. And then in terms of just going to the social media point that you talked about, to me, social media is social media and also dating books, like I alluded to. If you can't let it occupy all of your brain capacity, what I mean by that is, if you look, there are so many dating books out there. I know because I have like book, apps that have audiobooks on them, and literally dating relationships is like more than half of the content on there. If you're taking in all that, basically what most of those books tell you is that this is all a game of trying to control the power in the relationship, trying to control the dynamics. The male is trying to control it, by, taking away the attention. The woman is trying to withhold sex. And so then it's just a game of chicken. Okay, who's going to cave first? Who's going to cave first? Who's going to cave first? Whenever one side does get their way, well, then now, I got it. And you have to, cater to me rather than saying, look, we're just going to have a healthy interaction. I, as a man, I'm going to, pursue the woman, because you do most of the time. If you're a guy, have to talk to the woman first. Okay, I'm going to pursue her. If she's attracted to me, we'll see where we go. We'll go on a date and then we'll go from there. Instead, it's like, oh, let me play hard to get, both male and female. And then it's just this game of cat and mouse. And then nobody ever gets anything done. Then we fast forward. Guys get to that point where they're like, I don't want to deal with this no more. I'm not going to date, or I'm not going to get married, or things of that nature. And then women are like, what's going on? I can't find a man. I can't find a husband after all this years of getting my way, or, having all these men who wanted me, and I traded them like fans because I had social media where everybody, got likes and got subscribers and got, all these followers who are just, to me, they're just admirers. They don't really attract the woman. Then, like, the woman's not gonna look and be like, oh my gosh, I really like that guy who liked my picture and commented the heart. Like, you're just one of many to them. And that's where I think, the whole disconnect and the divide has come.
Yeah, yeah, and look, right? I get the whole building the mind up thing. I absolutely agree, right? But the reason why I say build a body up first is because stronger body will correlate to a stronger mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's how that is, right?
Yes.
A man who's not confident. How do most men build confidence, and where do most men find confidence in?
Through having a good physique.
Well, yes, through having a good physique. That's one aspect, but really, men have gained confidence through mastery, right? That's where men we gain our confidence from. Whenever we are good at something, or we set a goal and accomplish a goal, that's where we draw confidence from, right? So if I go to the gym and I say, okay, you know what? In 12 weeks, I want to be benching 400 pounds, squatting 500 pounds, deadlifting 600 pounds. And then I get there, two things happen. One, my body will reflect and look like a man who can do those things physically. Yeah. But two, the confidence that comes with that in my mind that I set out a goal and I achieved it. That's what men need to cultivate. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to be all about the gym too, right? It's about the gym, at least for me, because I'm just into the gym. I'm into fitness. You know what I'm saying? But it's also, learning. It's also could be from, I have a goal of saving $10,000 in a year. You know what I'm saying? And then I see that $10,000 sitting in my account and I'm like, well, damn, like, okay, cool. Now I can save 25,000 and so on and so forth. Doing the certain things that are really simple things. Basically what I'm saying is once men set out there and put goals in place and then put action plans into action to go and set out and accomplish and achieve those goals, that's when the confidence comes, right? And then once that confidence comes, the men have this sense of arrogance to them, which is attractive because that person looks like unshakable. That person looks like, damn, like he knows exactly where he's going. That's where the mental fortitude and mental strength comes in, because now I can do whatever I want. I've done all the things like I've ever set out to do, so I know I can do this. You know what I'm saying? And then also too, building the mind as well, because in my opinion, when it comes to dating, men are supposed to lead women. You know what I'm saying? You can't lead a woman if you're weak-minded, if you don't know things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why I say I agree with you. But in the end, though, a woman's not gonna look your way twice if she looks at you and says, "This dude couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag." You know what I'm saying? Like you need to look like you can at least protect your woman. I'm not saying you gotta be huge and jacked up and what have you, but I'm just saying you need to have at least some type of physical competency to where that woman looks at you and says, "Okay, if shit hits the fan, shit goes down, I'm safe with him," right? If I hear a right in the night, I know he can go handle that and he'll be able to at least defend me and himself. Yeah. That's why I talk about the physical part. But the mental aspect is important too, because in the end, a woman's not going to want to follow your lead. Because in my opinion, I think women are more comfortable in a relationship when she can follow the lead of her man versus it being 50-50, which is like what most women say that they want now, but yet they still don't respond well to 50-50 relationships. But that's a different topic for a different day. Point is, though, men need to have the physical and the mental for sure.
Well, yeah, and it all goes back to being well-rounded. You can't skip a step. You can't negate one portion. You have to work on both. That's the whole point. And then also, it's like, in my opinion, no woman is going to want a man that doesn't believe in himself. Like, what kind of mental framework are we really starting the interaction off with? Like, you're insecure, you're unsure of yourself. That's where I'm saying. So you build that by, like you said, setting those goals, getting your body in shape, getting in, peak condition. And then in turn, all of that helps, set the foundation for everything else in life. Right. And it's important what you also brought up about don't set unrealistic goals. What I mean by that is you build them up like building blocks, like a house. Okay, let me achieve this. Okay, this will take me a couple weeks. Okay, boom. All right, I got that one done. Then on to the next one, on to the next one. And the next thing you know, you don't even realize your progression that you've made. You just look and you're like, dang, this has happened all in about a year, and all I did was just build on things gradually, instead of saying, man, I'm broke, but I want to save 50K. I mean, not as realistic as if you say, okay, you know what, I'll save 10K in this time frame. Okay, I'll save 10 more in this time frame, then this time frame. The next thing you know, you're just building it up, and then you don't even realize how much progress you made. I think that's the thing, is that people set unrealistic expectations for themselves, and then that failure is what unfortunately ruins their resilience and their ability to be able to push forward. Right? You have to be able to, you know, approach things, methodically, in my opinion. And then going back to the whole, like, you know, addressing the whole arrogance point of view, that's another thing with TV and really in just regular interaction that I think has been frowned upon. We've heard for so long it's bad to be arrogant, or it's bad to have self confidence for most guys, and there's some who kind of listen to that and then they become, oh wait, I need to just be overly humble and just cater to the opposite sex, right? And then those are guys who generally you get friends on that way. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. Those guys who generally are the ones who generally get friends on. The guys who are arrogant, who have that self assurance, it's not a matter of they're gonna put someone's head in the toilet, but it is that idea that they live life in such an abundance where, okay, are you gonna interact with me, or are you gonna waste my time? If you're gonna waste my time, I'm gonna find something else or someone else, right? And that's what is, admirable about them, knowing that, man, they can do whatever they want and they have the confidence to not cater to me, right? I don't think anybody wants to be with somebody who just gives in so easily.
Right.
Okay. Now on to the next thing is just I think part of the problem that we're addressing too is guys not really knowing what they want, from a relationship. And I think it even goes to the idea, do you want to be in a relationship, or, be transparent, and do you just want this to be a casual thing? I know that for many guys, when, if they were to present it to a woman like, oh, I just want to date as casual, and then from there, we'll see if it progresses into a relationship, they don't want to do that because they know most women will get turned off by that idea. And so then they say, okay, well, I don't want to lose her, so then I'll just decide to get into the relationship, but you're entering it half-heartedly. You're not really investing. That's not something you really wanted to do. So just go into that if you would.
Yeah, I mean, listen, so I think that where that starts with where men have to start with that is, first they have to know what they want out of life. You know what I'm saying? I remember Dad told whenever I was in Houston last, Dad said, in terms of like dating, relationships, and marriage and all this stuff, he was saying, first you got to figure out what type of life do you want to live. You know what I'm saying? Then once you figure that out, then you find the woman that fits into that life. And it's no different here, right? If a man wants to live like Dan Bilzerian, right? That's what he truly wants, right?
Yeah.
Then he shouldn't sit there and go at women from the standpoint of, I'm looking to settle down. And no, just say, hey, I'm looking for something casual. You know what I'm saying? If you're not into it, cool, no problem. Like, it is what it is. If you are, cool. You know what I'm saying? If a man wants to be married, you know what I'm saying, or be in a long-term committed relationship, then he should behave and carry himself as such. And at the same time, the way he deals with women is like that too. See, too many guys have their wires crossed whenever they get dating and relationship advice, right? Because the men who want to be married and in relationships are listening to guys who are going to teach you how to pick up women, right? Yeah. Then the guys who just want to pick up women, they're thinking that, okay, they need to lie to women and say, okay, yeah, I do want to be in a relationship. Then they'll deal with the woman for a couple of times, bang her out a couple of times, and then toss it back into the water like a fish, right? And then that's how they go, which those are both ineffective, inefficient ways, right? If you want to be with a woman long-term, every woman that you deal with, make sure she knows, like, hey, like, that's what I'm looking for. Like, if you're not looking for that, keep it moving, right? If you're looking to keep things casual, you don't want anything serious with a woman, then let the woman know up front, I am looking for something casual. I do not want to be in a relationship or be married. That's all. That's as simple as that. But it's because guys have this scarcity mindset that, okay, like if she rejects me, this is the last woman I'll ever meet ever. Oh my God, I have to do everything in my power to make sure she says yes, yes, yes. Reality is, most women that you interact with, if you deal with 100 women, 10 of them are going to show interest. And of that 10, five or six of them are going to flake on you. Yeah. And then the six. So let's say 6 flake of those 10 women, right? We start at 100 and then came down to 10, right? Then out of those 10 women, right? Out of those 10 women, 6 of them flake on you, right? And then out of the 6 women, so out of the 4 women that you have left, one's going to be genuinely interested. One's going to be genuinely interested. One's going to be mildly a good amount interested, but you're going to have to do a little bit more work than you're willing to. One's going to be kind of half-assed, like she's interested, but then at the same time, like she likes the attention more than she likes you. And then the 4th woman is going to kind of just be like, well, I only kind of started talking to you just because I was bored, right? That's how dating goes. But in the end, though, especially if you're wanting to be with a woman and a monogamous relationship, all you need out of those 100 women is for one to say yes. You know what I'm saying? But guys have this scarcity mindset because, man, we get rejected like all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like on a given day, if you're a guy and you get one, let's say you deal with on a 7-day basis, you deal with 70 women, right? In a week, right? And you turned 70 of those women into 7 dates in a week, you're a freaking G. Like you are doing it because it's extremely hard to get women to say yes, because women have the advantage. Women are constantly being shot at, like women don't know what to. The women get shot so much they don't even know what to do. Sometimes I think women just say no just by default because they're just like, okay, no. Oh no, that I didn't mean to say no. Damn it. All right. Well, I know another. That's just what it is. Yeah. So I think the guys not knowing what they want, I think it's because they don't know what they want out of life. First, like they don't know like what type of lifestyle do I want to live, right? Me, I have it figured out. I want to live in a nice home. I don't want a mansion. Like mansions freak me out for some reason because I just don't like being in a house that's so big. I don't know what's going on in every part of it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I want a nice house, be able to drive nice vehicles, and be able to make enough money to where I can leave significant finances. If I have children, leave it to them. So that way they either can continue on what I've built for them and build up on that. Or if they're doing something that's not going to pay them a lot of money, but they enjoy it, they'll have financial security to where if shit hits the fan, they'll still be good financially. And then just be able to start the trend towards generational wealth. That's what I want. I don't need to live a super extravagant like lifestyle. Like I really want like a simplistic lifestyle, but I'm bougie too. So I do want to have a nice home, for sure, nice cars, and be able to go on nice trips. You know what I'm saying? And I know what income mark that I would need to hit in order to make those things start to happen. You know what I'm saying? So then when it comes to dating and relationships, I need a woman who's on the same page. You know what I'm saying? So what does that mean? I need a woman who it's going to be okay with me when I'm making that type of money. Be okay with I'm going to be busy a lot more. I'm not going to be there to kiss you goodnight every night, be with the kids. But there are probably days where I'm working late or I'm out of town on business and I'm just not going to be around that much. That's just what the reality is. And she has to be okay with that. And she has to know that, okay, like he's making these sacrifices for me and our family. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of woman, and that's the type of woman that would fit into my lifestyle from that regard. You know what I'm saying? Also, she has to want the same thing. So like she has to want to live in a mild house. I can't date a woman who wants nothing but Birkin bags and Louis Vuittons and all that super bougie stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not into none of that. I don't know how to even shop for those type of things. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, I can't have no chick who's just like who thinks I'm like over the top materialistic because I don't want to be driving a beater Camry or Civic or whatever. No offense to those of you who do drive those things. I'm just trying to make a point here. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to figure out like, what do you want your life to look like? And then figure out who is the woman that fits into that lifestyle? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. No, I mean, I think for me, and this is the good thing about our dynamic is that you're a little bit older than I am, so you have more life experience than I do. I always say I'm being a sponge right now. I'm at a point where I just got life started to figure things out. All right, I got a job, I'm working, okay, building that up. Now it's about okay, building finances, building up, to where I can live out on my own and figure out now, okay, what does that look like? Me being on my own. My whole thing is about autonomy, being able to live the life that I want. Okay, what do I want out of life? Be able to wake up, not be hungry, not be starving. I have shelter and have a nice house, not have a nice place. And then my partner, it really just what it all comes down to is I protect my mental peace as passionately as anything else. So what that means is that the person can't be a toxic, influence on my life. Like I have no patience for it. Literally, if I have a lot of red flags. That's the one thing I get criticized for the most. Is like if I notice X, Y, Z is the whole thing. If I notice one, I'm just like nope. And I don't have the patience to be like, oh, well, maybe I'll, ignore it. Because I think that's the main thing. I've ignored red flags in the past, and every time I've done it, it ends up not working out, and it ends up, getting out of hand the situation. So my thing is, if I see a red flag, then I'd rather just not deal with the person. What those red flags are, I mean, you just have to interact with me, and you'll understand. But the main thing is if she's upright in the head, all right, that's the bare minimum. Of course, if I'm attracted to her, and then does she have a goal? Does she have somewhere she's trying to get in life? Right? Does she have a larger outlook than just the space that she lives in? Right? I'm not saying that you have to want to live in a mansion, but you can't be stagnant. I'm all about growth. I'm all about maturing. I'm all about evolving, right? And the partner I decide to choose, I think, has to have that same type of approach to life. She has to. I feel like guys really, and this is my biggest thing. You have to be able to look for a partner out there that really is that igniter fluid and that fuels that extra fire in your belly, where even on days where you may wake up and you're not feeling it today, nah, man, I got this woman by my side who's a rider for me and who pushes me to do things even when I don't feel like I want to do it. That's when you really have the partner and your soulmate, if you believe in soulmates or things of that nature. She pushes you to push yourself even if you don't want to, right? You guys are on the same wavelength. You guys don't have to fight all the time, or even if you do have an argument, because arguments are part of life. It's not, the deterrent that everything has to hit the fan. Oh man, we had an argument this morning. Oh man, shit, is she gonna go cheat on me or is he gonna go cheat on me? Nah. Okay, this part of our interaction. We'll get through this like anything else. And I think, go ahead.
And that's why I said, right, because the type of lifestyle that I want to be able to afford, I know what sacrifices and what that's going to come with, right? Again, when I say I'm going to have to work, like with our dad, right?
Yeah.
He's a high income earner. He was a high income earner whenever he was still working.
Mm.
He would either work late, or he would be at the house working, or he'd be on business trips. That's just what happens, right? So then you talk about people who are making then you're talking about like executives of companies and things like that. Well, they're so busy. They're especially if they're like working for like a super like big company, they're probably gone and they're probably working about 70, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You know what I'm saying? So you're not really home that much. You're just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and like you said, I don't want to have to worry about, okay, is she going to be okay when I come home? Is she going to be talking about, you're never home? How come I don't want that. I want to be like, hey, you've been gone. I missed you. How was things here? That's what I would want idealistically. You know what I'm saying? That's for
perfect. And to me, that's perfectly sane for a guy to want, because there are some women who are like, why are you being insecure? Why should she not feel that way? I'm like, that's literally insane. Like, I don't understand that. And for me, see, because I've seen enough people be cheated on firsthand experience wise, I've gotten to the point where I'm numb to it. So my whole thing is if I even start to hear any inkling of, ooh, you're not home enough, blah, 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 or you're not giving me enough, I'm just like, all right, look, what do you want to do? Are you on? And that's why it's tough to be married. We'll get into marriage on a different episode. But I it's like, for me, my mentality right now, and I can afford to be this way, the door is so comfortably right there that, like, and that's maybe the wrong way to be. But
nope.
No, but listen, to me, it's just like I'd rather protect my peace and just move on than to be in a situation that I don't have to be in, where I'm always thinking and always second guessing anything. I think too much and I think about too many things to be able to second guess myself, or to have to be guilty for just living life and for being motivated to do better. I have to work. That's literally the DNA that I was instilled in. Same with you. And it's what our dad taught us, that you have to be a grinder. And I shouldn't have to be frowned upon for being such a way. That's my mentality.
Yeah, yeah. And ultimately, what most men would want, and I want women to really listen to this, because if you don't get anything out of this episode, listen to this one thing and understand it well. Most things that all men, I don't care if it's a dude who only makes $20,000-$30,000 a year to a man who makes $2-3 million a year, whoever you're gonna end up being with, right? The one thing I can say that all men want is from their woman is peace. That's what it boils down to. You can have certain some men will accept certain baggage that you bring to the table, this, that, and the third. As long as you can bring him and be a source of peace for him, right? Not his peace, because he needs to be at a place of peace on his own before he starts dating you. But you need to be able to add to his peace, not take away from it. If you take away from his peace, he's not going to keep you around very long, or you're going to have a very contentious relationship.
Yep.
So that's what it boils down to. And this is what I advise all guys. I think I've told you this, all my boys, this young dudes who we just kind of chop it up about life. I always tell them, find a woman who makes your life easier. You find a woman who makes your life easier, everything kind of takes care of itself. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to get with a woman who is either always into some drama, always causing drama with you, or she's super attractive and you don't know how to handle a super attractive woman, because there's a certain way you have to deal with super attractive women that most men don't know how to do. That's why, I wouldn't advise most men to date super attractive women. You know what I'm saying? And that's why super attractive women are a lot of them. I see a lot of them who are single, perpetually single. You know what I'm saying? Which for most people, they'd be like, how's that possible? And I'm like, well, I know exactly how, but that's a whole nother episode in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But in the end, though, to keep it short, men need to find a woman who adds to his life and brings, at the very least, peace. You know what I'm saying? And women need to understand that they need to add to that man's life and his peace. Not be his peace, add to his peace. Yeah. Because if you're dealing with a man who you have to be his source of peace in his life, you're dealing with an incomplete man, and that relationship will not work.
And no person should ever have to deal with that. I mean, male or female. I mean, and what you're talking about is really my whole thing, is that, look,
and it goes both ways.
For sure.
Like, I'm not saying, and women, don't fucking deal with no dude who it's, especially for the women, don't deal with a dude who takes away from your peace. That's ridiculous. A man's supposed to be a source of stability and grounding and strength in your life. And you're going to sit there and deal with these guys who cause you grief and peace. Like, that's one thing I don't get about women too. This is why I'm just like, I'm just not part. I should have been born like the previous generation. I don't.
With heads, man. We're born too late.
You know what I'm saying?
We're born too late. We're born way.
Right. But that's the thing, too. And it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that women will sit there in a relationship that they know is not good for them. But but again, because this Disney fairy tale hope, they think, okay, all of a sudden he's just going to flip the switch and then he's just going to change and turn into the men I want. No, that's not how men are. Like, we are hardwired how we're hardwired, and the older we get, the more stuck set in our ways we become.
Absolutely. So, and see, all I'm saying is, man, red flag. If you see it, don't run from it. Don't ignore it, man. Get out. Just like the movie, you don't fall into the sunken place. And in the end, what we're talking about, just to wrap it all up, is that, look, every man, no matter what, wants to be able to go out and grind, go out and hustle, and be able to come home to a home that is peaceful and that doesn't create him any stress or any more, obstacles than he already has, that he has to deal with in life. And that's the same with any women. Women want to be able to follow, or at least be with a partner that they can look at and say, no matter what, I know I can rely on him. Right.
Right.
if you have that, that's as good. That's as good of a balanced relationship as you can get. You know what I'm saying? Two people who are self sufficient and know what they bring to the partnership. They know how they what their place is in the partnership, how they fit the entire puzzle for what they want out of their situation and out of their life. All right, just wrapping it all up. We've had a great episode, some great content, some real shit getting talked, and but I think it's good. I think it's good, and we're just opening this up. Uh, Big Dog, before we close out, you got anything to add?
So one other thing, I mean, we've already hit on it. Because I know we're supposed to get into like do's and don'ts of dating, but at this, that's a whole another episode in itself. Experiences in dating. I don't really like to talk about my experiences in dating because like I don't like to talk about my experiences in dating because I don't want it to come off like I'm being negative towards any of my exes. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And because I don't really have anything negative to say, because ultimately, like for me, how I am when I talk about my exes is I always put the blame on myself, because in the end, I was the man in the relationship and I should have been better. That's just how I do it. And that's just the way it is. Is that fair to myself? Probably not. But in the end, that's part of being a man. You just have to accept responsibility for the things that you could have controlled. Right. That's how that works. One thing I want to touch on, and I want to hit on before we wrap this up, because we already talked about no woman will respect a guy who doesn't respect himself. That kind of self-explanatory. Like, women don't get with the guy who he talks like this, and he can't maintain eye contact with you, and he thinks and he calls himself a loser, and like. That's not funny, right? That's not funny. That's pitiful. Guys who self-deprecate themselves, like I don't have respect for those men. You know what I'm saying? But so that should go without saying. But one point that we need to kind of hit on, which I kind of alluded to it earlier when I pulled up this, was social media. This social media shit has really gotten people's heads so. And I'm gonna kind of go off here, and I'm gonna use a lot of language. So if people get offended with what I'm about to say in the next couple of minutes, well, I'm sorry, but that's just what it is, right? But people really need to really learn how to detach themselves from social media. This social media shit has really gotten so many people's heads fucked up. And it's getting to a point now where people's lives, people's thinking and minds is so wrapped up into the social media shit that they think this shit's real life, right? They see these motherfuckers on here living certain lifestyles, not knowing that the motherfucker who's flashing this car, right? I'm talking about the men who kind of perpetrate on social media. They're driving the Ferraris and Lambos and shit like that, and posing in front of them and putting a little bullshit quote at the bottom of the post, not knowing that shit's either rented or that's his homeboy's car. You know what I'm saying? But these women are going for those type of dudes, right? Then for the men, you dudes keep liking all these little like Instagram model pictures and things like that, and they're all plastic surgeryed up. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what you expect to get in real life. Do you see any rings on those women's fingers? No, those women don't get married, don't get chosen. Why? Because most men understand, and even you guys understand, they're probably not the marrying and dating long-term type. You know what I'm saying? But social media has gotten so out of control that now people don't do anything without posting it to social media. Go out to eat with your significant other, you got to post what you're fucking eating, right? You know what I'm saying? Your dog does something that he does every single day and you're bored. Okay, I'm gonna post my dog so I can get these likes, because I know people are so crazy about dogs and animals. I gotta post that. You know what I'm saying? Chicks, you go to the gym. Before you even start your workout, you're posting a picture at the gym talking about gotta get it in. Then once you finish your workout, before you leave the motherfucker, you gotta post another picture. You know what I'm saying? And because why? You want all those likes and DMs and the hard eyes and all that bullshit. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go there. Because see,
you gonna cause so much. All right, people gonna hate you.
No, because it's the truth though. Right?
It is.
People want because look, everybody gets on social media complaining about how there's no good men here, there's no good women. I always joke around and say she's for the streets and all that type of stuff. But then here I am But for me, if you look at my social media, who I follow, I'm not following none of these Instagram models. I'm following either actual high level, high fashion models or actual celebrities who have an actual talent. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Men are sitting there liking all these IG models pictures and now thinking, okay, that's real life. I can find a woman like that. No, these women are far and few in between, and they don't have what you're looking for in terms of a partner. You know what I'm saying? So this whole social media thing is just gotten people's heads messed up. And I personally think, this is my own personal opinion, that it's messed with women. It's negatively affected women more than men, because men, we're into social media, but we just kind of are on there just to look at pictures, but and stupid memes. That's pretty much it. Women are on there because they're getting attention on there like crazy, right? More attention that they get in real life. In real life, they may get like a guy who may be like, hey, you're really beautiful, da, 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 da. But on there, though, they're getting hundreds, if not thousands of guys with every post that they do. Even on their stories, they probably get, we don't know how many reactions they get. So my thing is, social media I also don't want people's social media to become their virtual reality where they live and die by the social media shit, because it's not real, right? It's whenever you are dealing with something that you can control how your reality is perceived by people, that to me is a dangerous, harmful thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think that because social media it gives people so much access to so many different people around the world, this is what's now causing women to not really view men as like people that they should date and take serious, and it's causing men to kind of look at women negatively. Well, if she's posting all these things, then she must be a IG thought or for the streets or what have you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And for me, it's just if people kind of took a break or kind of distance themselves from social media, or even kind of audited what they're following and just follow like things that kind of are either pure entertainment, like the meme pages and things like that, or like things that are like helpful to them, like the business pages and things like that, or spiritual pages, things that are going to enrich their mind. Because I think you can get some enrichment from social media. Then I think we'd be better off. But people, both men and women, look at and use social media for one thing only, mostly, and that's for validation.
Yes. And to sum it up, I mean, that's the tough love that needs to be heard from most people. I hope everybody gained something from what Bernard said and what we said during this entire episode. This is just to open the conversation up and to help, man, because we just want to see love, man. And we just want to see, people striving and getting into actual meaningful relationships, not the relationships that you have with people online, because online is not real life like we're talking about. All right. But that's a wrap for Insight Podcast, episode 29. Thank my big bro Bernard for coming on once again. This has been a banger. It's funny. I laughed, but we learned. And that's the whole thing, is just open the conversations up. The content is evolving. The channel's evolving. I appreciate everybody who listens and tunes in. Share this, like the video, like the channel. Share it on your podcast platforms as well. You can catch us on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Much love and appreciation. All right.